Once upon a time, there was a merchant who had 3 daughters whom he loved very much. Every day the merchant would go to the market to buy and sell. One day, the merchant wanted to go to the market and asked his daughters what they wanted to bring from there. The first daughter asked for a beautiful silk dress. The second asked for a pearl necklace. And his third daughter asked for a beautiful red rose. The third daughter was the merchant's youngest daughter, the most beautiful, the most spoiled, and the closest to her father. The father went to the market, and on the way back, a strong storm blew up and it started to rain heavily, which prompted the merchant to hide in one of the castles located between the market and his house. He decided to stay in the castle until the winds and rains calmed down and he could return home. The castle that the merchant entered was strange and suspicious, so the merchant began to search for the castle's inhabitants to ask their permission to stay in it. But he did not find anyone, and during his search, he found a dining table prepared with all kinds of delicious foods and drinks, which souls crave, and because of his extreme hunger, he sat at the table and started eating. And after he finished his food, he returned again to search for the castle's inhabitants. He went up to the upper floor in an attempt to find someone, and his search failed. But he found on the upper floor large, beautiful, and organized halls with spacious bedrooms and luxurious beds. So he could not resist the drowsiness that overcame him. So he slept in one of the rooms and fell into a deep sleep. And the next morning, when the merchant woke up, he found breakfast next to him, a hot cup of delicious coffee and a bowl filled with fruit. The merchant was surprised by what he saw and doubted the matter, as there was no one in the castle. So who brings food, drink, and fruit? As the merchant was leaving the castle after the winds and rains subsided, he found beautiful roses of all shapes and colors at the main entrance. He remembered his youngest daughter's request, so he picked a rose for her. As soon as he picked the rose, he heard a voice like the roar of thunder, screaming at him and telling him that he was ungrateful. Despite all the hospitality he received inside the castle, he had ruined his roses. The merchant looked and saw that the castle monster was the one screaming. The merchant trembled with fear and told him that his little daughter had asked him to bring her a rose. He liked these beautiful roses, so he wanted to give his daughter one of them. The monster told the merchant that he would forgive him if he brought his little daughter to the castle. The merchant was forced to bring her, so he went home and brought his daughter to the castle, so that the monster would not kill him. When the merchant returned to the castle with his daughter, the monster was waiting for them. The little girl was afraid of the sight of the monster, but after a short while she got used to him, and over time they became very close friends. One day, the monster told the little girl that he wished to be his wife. The girl was surprised by the monster's request. How could a beautiful girl like her marry an ugly monster? But she remembered his kindness and generosity to her and her father. She was also afraid that if she hurt his feelings, he might kill her father. So she chose to tell the monster that she did not agree to his request, in a polite and nice way, without hurting his feelings. And indeed, she told him that she did not agree to his marriage proposal. One day, the monster saw the princess crying and sad, so he asked her why she was crying. She told him that she missed her family and wanted to know their news. The monster brought her a magic mirror, through which she could see her family while she was inside the palace. Through the magic mirror, the girl learned that her father had been seriously ill since she moved to live in the monster's castle. The girl felt very sad and asked the monster to let her go visit her family. But the monster refused her request because he was afraid that she would go and not return. The girl kept begging the monster to let her go to her family. The monster felt sorry for her and agreed to let her go home. But he stipulated that the girl return to the castle after 7 days. The princess felt very happy because the monster agreed to let her go visit her father. And she promised him that she would return to the castle at the appointed time. The girl said goodbye to the monster and went home happily. When the princess returned home, her father's health began to improve after he saw her and reassured her. The girl began to tell her family about her life in the castle and about the beast's kindness and good treatment of her, and how they had become very close friends and that he could not refuse her any request, no matter what. And the days began to pass quickly until it was time for the girl to leave her family's house and return to the palace. But at the end of the 7th day, the princess had a strange dream. The girl saw the beast in her sleep suffering from a critical health condition, and that he was on his deathbed. So she left her family's house quickly to the castle. And when she arrived there, she began to search for the beast. But she did not find him. And when she went to his bedroom, she found him lying in bed, very tired, with his eyes closed and not speaking at all. The girl began to call him and beg him to stay with her and not go, for she loved him with all her heart and promised him that she would marry him if he woke up and recovered from his illness. When the girl told the monster that she would marry him, here came the great shock, for the ugly monster turned into a handsome young man and opened his eyes and saw the princess and told her that he had never been a monster, but had been a handsome young man in the past. As a result of magic that had affected him, and that the reason for his return to his normal state was the beautiful princess's agreement to marry him, the princess felt extremely happy to help the prince and rid him of his magic. And the prince married the princess, and they lived in safety, happiness, and bliss in the big castle. Finally, the story of the princess and the beast is one of the best short stories for children that urges us to be careful to please our parents, sacrifice our lives for them if necessary, help people no matter what their shapes and colors, treat them with kindness and friendliness, and extend a helping hand to them if they need it. Whoever does good will reap its fruits and fulfill our covenants and promises no matter what the cost.